a couple of different theories floating around out there at the moment. The creationist theory, yeah, which, I don't know, everything came into being a few thousand years ago. And then you've got Darwinism, yep, that everything has evolved over a period of time. Yep. Whereas in reality, there is no such thing as time. Everything is bursting into presence right here, right now. And then the mind gets a hold of that it sees and divides. It just does that. Yeah. If there's no thinking going on at all, just complete absence, time doesn't exist. So time is purely a concept. So everything is just bursting into presence spontaneously right here, right now. What the mind will do, it'll go, yeah, but we found dinosaur fossils, which means that 65 odd million years ago or more, there were dinosaurs walking around on the planet. It sounds reasonable. It sounds quite logical. Whereas in reality, all those fossils that we see or find are bursting into existence now.
So everything's experienced at once, but just the mind separates
Correct.
the everything.
Yeah. There is just now. Everything else other than just now is purely a mind-made construct. Purely. It's the mind that then concocts a story. Oh yeah, we're going to use, what do they call it, carbon dating, and we go, oh yeah, that's 65 or 200 million years old, or it concocts. But you can't ever actually bring anything from the past into the present and say, here's the past. It's literally not possible, because everything presents itself in the present, presently, constantly presenting itself in the present, which is in answer to spontaneity. Yeah? And no such thing as time. There is no such thing as time. Everything is always, for us, yeah, is experienced presently. Always. The only time we decide things aren't being experienced presently is when we go into our head, into the imagination, and go into the story. Whatever the story's telling us. About dinosaurs or about self, about me. Like this kind of childhood, and this happened to me, and woe is me, or whatever the story is. But none of that, whatever the story is happening right here, right now. Do a reality check. Do a reality check. Always do a reality check. Whatever the head is telling you, just pause for a moment and look around the room. Wherever it is that you are, look around and ask yourself, is there anything wrong with this moment? 99% of the time, yeah, unless you've, just had a car accident. But even then, when you've had that car accident, a split second later, that's over. It's over. 99% of the time, you will find everything is perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. Yet, when we go in here, which is where we all live, we live in here. Hardly any of us live out here. Hardly any of us live out here. It's extraordinary. When we go in there, disaster, stories, where do you want to live? It's like, seriously, where would you rather, it's like, would you rather live in your dream when you sleep on your bed at night? Would you just rather permanently stay in there and live in there? Or would you rather wake up from that and be here and live here? Because what goes on here is this, Kat was just touching on it, this is often referred to as the waking dream. What that means is this body's moving around in present time, doing stuff and doing things and so on and so forth. And then there's this dream that goes on in here, and we live in there throughout the course of the day, missing every single moment, every single presenceness, every single nowness. Because the attention's in there. and we kind of vaguely, like really vaguely, see this reality, see what's actually going on here. Unless we get a shock. You know, a guy up on the roof, he's a carpenter. And he's putting, you know, he's I'm not a carpenter, he's nailing bits of wood together for a roof, okay? And he's been doing it for 30 years, so he knows it inside out, back to front. He can do it on automatic. Doesn't even have to be there as such, yeah, to be doing it. A bit like when you drive a car sometimes, yeah? And he's on the roof and he's nailing away, building this roof. But what's going on in his head? Last night, his wife comes to him and says, I've been having sex with the neighbour. Yeah? Can you imagine what's going on in his head? Like, in all seriousness. They've got 3 kids. They've got 3 kids, all under 6 years of age. Yeah? And his wife has just said to him last night, I'm banging the neighbour. Can you imagine? Yeah? So he's up on the roof and he's nailing away and he's got this stuff going on and he's not at all present in regards to what he's doing because it pretty much happens automatically anyway. Yeah? And he's hammering away and then he goes bang and smashes his thumb. Like really splatters his thumb because he's hitting those nails a hell of a lot harder than he would normally hit them. Yeah? He's pissed. Yeah? He smashes his thumb. Yeah? Where is he in that exact moment that he smashes his thumb, and what happens to the story that was going on in his head in that precise moment? Bang! Where is he then? Right here. Totally and completely right here. But unfortunately, split second later, he'll dive straight back into there and he'll add to the story and go, you bitch, now look what you've made me do. Yeah? But it's a shift. A smash on, I'm not suggesting anyone smash their thumb. I'm not. It's a pointer. But that's, he smashes his thumb. The story stops. Completely stops. And for a moment, he's back here. Right here, right now, in this present moment. No such thing as time. It's just, wow, the thumb. Bang, here. And a split second later, yep, now look what you've made me do. And there's more fuel. Yeah? And that's because we're living in here. And that doesn't have to happen. Just ordinary daily living. Doesn't have to be traumas or dramas as serious as that going on. Just your normal everyday living. Walking around feeling like you've got low self-esteem. Walking around feeling a bit antisocial. Walking around feeling a little bit contracted. Walking around feeling not sure of yourself. Yeah? Walking around feeling like you need to gain, you need to learn more things, or you need to acquire, whether that be spiritually or materialistically. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah? Walking around doing that. It's still not living here. We're living in here. And we're all doing it. We all do it. Until you kind of get thrown into the lion's den in here, and that gets challenged. That totally gets challenged. Yeah? Can I exist without that? Can I be without that story that's going on in here? Can I actually be and exist without that? Amnesia, it's gone. If you experience amnesia, it's completely gone. Your whole sense of me, gone. Doesn't mean you disappear. Doesn't mean the presence and the aliveness disappears. But it's a really good pointer in terms of who and what it is we take ourselves to be or believe ourselves to be. The story. Thoughts, images, conditioning from when, from the moment we're born conditioning that goes into us. We don't even have a choice over that. I didn't choose my name. I probably would have chose something different. I didn't choose that. That got put in there. Didn't choose my parents. Their conditioning got ploughed into me. And I think that I'm an individual. I was created. I had no say in who or what I was going to become at all. And then when we take that creation to be who I am, that if you apply that amnesia pointer and your whole history's wiped, completely wiped, who are you then? Who and what are you then, in that moment? Again, you do not disappear. You're still here. There's still a presence. But who would you be? No history. Don't even know your name. Who would you be? So, who are you if we're not applying amnesia? Who are you then if we're not applying amnesia? Other than the story, the thoughts and images and ideas and conditioning that's going on in our head. You can exist without it. You can totally exist without it. And that's rattling around in our head is no indication whatsoever as to who and what we really actually are. No indication. Presently, there's no beginning. There's no end. That's what Bob means about eternity. There is no beginning and end to now. Someone find me a beginning and end to pure presence. The mind will try and do that. It'll try and do that. But, as soon as you say, now is beginning, it's ending. And another now is beginning and ending. It's too quick. It's beyond time, it's beyond space, it's beyond measurement. There's no measurement. In pure, absolute beingness, presence, there's no measurement. No gaps, there's no measurement. Just always on or spontaneous, always bursting